Try living with me. They did, and they still love me. You got to deal with my mood swings. You got to deal with me when I'm happy. You got to deal with when I'm sad. You got to deal with me when I'm angry. You got to deal with me when I'm depressed. You got to deal with me when I don't love myself. And you live with me, and you still love me. I'm going to say that one more time. Try living with me. They did, and they still love me. Guys, please join my YouTube channels, Morgan Rees Life Speaker, my podcast channel, Good Morning Black People with Morgan Rees. My videos, basically, I only give you clippets. The actual full videos are on my YouTube channel. My biggest platform, I am so grateful and thankful to my TikTok family. I'm grateful to the Facebook family. I am grateful to the Instagram family. I'm finally learning how to do this. But I would really appreciate your support if you follow me on my YouTube channels. When I post my videos, I don't post the entire video. The full video of these stories, these are my true life-changing stories that I am sharing with you to help you on your healing and deliverance journey while it's helping me on my healing and deliverance journey. And I will thank you in advance for your support. Going back to the message. Try living with me. They did, and they still love me. You're like, Morgan, what are you talking about? Try dealing with and living with someone, which I have pretty much all my life, someone who has mental health issues. That has been my journey. When they were mad, when they were angry, when they were sad. And there is a difference between being mad and angry, because you can be mad about something. I just can't believe that this just happened. And then you can be angry about something and you show your anger in physical strength. That was your girl Morgan. I got the physical strength of the person's mood swings, whether they was happy, whether they was sad, whether they was angry, whether they was mad, whether they was depressed, whether they was anxious. But your girl Morgan seemed to always feel and felt the angry, the mad, the sad, the confused person of that person. And I still love them. It's just that when I was growing up, I didn't know what was wrong with them. I just knew they were always mad at me. And they always took out their anger. They always took out their pain. They always took out their sadness. They took it all out on your girl Morgan. I don't know if many of you guys have lived with somebody or are still living with somebody or have someone in your family, someone in your friends, someone in your friends, or someone that's really close to you that has mental health issues, who has mental health problems, and you've been trying to figure out, how do you still love them? Well, I'm going to tell you a little secret. I'm going to tell you a little secret. Just come a little closer. Just come a little closer. It's all about your heart. Yes, I said it. You're thinking, oh, Morgan, I thought you were going to give me something big. That's something big. Your heart will determine still, as they get older, as they still transition with their mental health moods, their mental health swings, their mental health emotional roller coaster ride. Your heart will still determine where you still are. And with me growing up, no one never asked me, even the family that was a part of us, all they would say is, they crazy. And I'm like, stop telling me that. I don't want to hear that. I still love them because I'm connected to them. I still love them because they are my family. I still love them because they're the reason why I'm on this earth. And all they would say is, she crazy, she crazy, she crazy, she crazy, she crazy. But never took the time to figure out why was she always angry? Why was she always sad? Why was she always depressed? Why was she always mad? And not even just that, why does she always take it out on her, which is me? And I had those questions for years, y'all. I promise you. I kept saying, what was so wrong with me? Why did all the abuse had to happen to me? And now that I'm on this healing and deliverance journey, you know, God is saying, why not you? Look at Jesus. He was whipped. He was scorned. He was spit on. He was talked about. He was belittled. He was ridiculed. He was dragged through the mud. His name was dragged through the mud. He had a lot of things that happened to him as well. And even now in 2025, I'm looking on all social media platforms. I'm still not understanding and seeing why nobody's talking about Resurrection Day. They still advertising the pagan holiday Easter. They're still advertising the bunny rabbits. They still advertising the eggs. Now, you still talking about eggs, and the price of eggs right now is between $7 and $15. How you got money to spend money on Easter eggs, and the carton of eggs, a dozen of eggs, is $7 to $15? But not one person mentioned our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. So going back to my story, my journey, how did Morgan deal with this for all these years? And I used to ask myself. And as I've been thinking about my journey and thinking about the life that I have been through, the ups and downs, the turmoils of just being surrounded by and connected to so many people, and all they did was some kind of form of way, figure out a way to hurt me, figure out a way to make me feel less than. And it took me a long time, guys, I promise you, long time, to finally get this confidence to say, hey, I ain't ugly. My body may not look the way the body you want my body to look like, but guess what? It's my body. My skin may not look like it did then, but guess what? It looks much better now. I am still alive to tell you these stories. I am still alive to tell you my journey. I am still alive to give you some form of hope. Because try living with somebody when you had to deal with their mood swings. Oh, wait. We're going to get a little juicy. We're going to get a little juicy. To the point where their mood swings will be somehow it's going to be her fault, which is me. Somehow she caused this. She made me mad. And I don't even know how I made you mad. Because all I did was trying to do the right thing for the right reason. All I was doing was trying to show you how to love you, how to protect you as best as I could as your child. All I knew was, well, if I just give them a lot of love and I still listen and I still be obedient, because I promise you, it's in the scripture, obedience is better than sacrifice. I was that kid. And I know you're thinking like, Morgan, you was not. I pretty much was that kid. Growing up, I would ask, you sure? I mean, you did a lot of things. You took me through a lot of problems. You allowed a lot of things to happen in life. Was I really a bad kid? And she said, no, you actually was a good kid. Even when I would do something wrong, she said, yeah, you actually tell me you did it wrong. And I was always confused. Why she telling on herself? But I did. I still had to live with her. Even when my siblings did not understand, because at that time they was young enough, so they did not understand. Until I moved on my own. Again, I told you I've been on my own since I was 16, because I had to leave home. Because the home was just not conducive for me, for my mindset. And then for years, so many people kept trying to put this word curse on me and say, you're going to be just like her. You're going to be just like him. And I was like, no, I don't want to. I mean, yeah, maybe, but no, I want to be my own person. And I used to always wonder, why do they want me to have mental health problems as well? And then for a minute, Satan was working on me. He was like, yeah, you're going to be just like him. You're going to have mental problems too. You're going to have issues too. And I was like, no, that's not my journey. That's not my chapter. Try living with them. They did, and they still love me. That was me. I am the they. You are the they. I promise you, the roller coaster ride of living with someone, being around someone, being surrounded with someone who has mental health issues, and their mental health issues is a constant roller coaster ride. You never know when you're going to catch them up, because you always seem to catch them down. And then when you catch them down and you finally found them up, you're embracing it. You're happy. You're like, oh my goodness, oh Lord, I'm going to embrace this. I'm going to hold on to this, because this is the only time that I've seen them when they were actually up. But if they have more downs than they have ups, you still have to love them. You still have to respect them. You still have to honor them, especially if they were your mother and your father. And for me, I have been surrounded by that all my life, and not none of my aunts, not none of my uncles, not none of my cousins on neither my mother nor my father's side ever took the time to ask Morgan, how does Morgan feel? You know, when you go to the psychiatrist or a psychologist or a counselor, actually, it's so funny. I'm at work the other day and I had to deliver a computer to a psychologist. That was my first time ever actually having an interaction with a psychologist at my job. I told you I work in the hospital field. And for whatever reason, I ended up on the couch working on her device, and she ends up across from me. And somehow, we start talking about life. And I'm explaining to her, I said, yeah, I'm my sister's guardian. She has special needs and cerebral palsy. I'm my brother's representative. He has mental health issues. I'm over him. I also, responsible for things for my mother when that time comes for her. And then I'm still trying to live life. And she sits across from me and she says, I don't understand how you do it. And I was like, wait a minute. Is she analyzing me right now? This is my first time ever having a conversation with an actual psychologist in front of me. So when you go to these people, they're thinking this in their mind. When you're sharing them with your journey of life, when you're sharing of how you were abused, how you were molested, you were traumatized as you were growing up, you were beaten as you were growing up, you were abandoned as you were growing up, you were mistreated from anyone who was everyone who you thought that said, hey, but you're my family. You're supposed to be able to love me, embrace me in spite of, which is what God does when he brings you together as a family, because people seem to keep forgetting that family is a reason why we are family. You're supposed to take me through the good and the bad and all that and see all my ups and my downs, but you're still supposed to still love me. But we got so many broken generational families of generational curses, of cycles, of trauma, of generations. Nobody in the family knows how to do that. And if they are doing it, it's not genuine. It's so fake. It's so phony. Out in the public, everyone thinks y'all the greatest family ever, but behind closed doors, you're fussing and you're arguing and you're bickering and you're talking about each other and you're biting each other's backs out and you talk about this person in the family, you talk about that in the family. Nobody knows anymore how to actually love someone and genuinely love someone in the family, even if you don't get along. Now, hold on, let me get you straight, because for me, for a while, I was that person. I still was like, they slapped me, they beat me down, they kicked me. As I told you, after my book came out, Endurance is Victory, I found out that a family members or two used to spit in my mouth when I was younger. Yes, I'm telling you this right now out loud. I can't believe I'm saying it out loud. And would make it as a game and watch me swallow their saliva and laughed at me. I told you I came from a one-of-a-kind, unique, dysfunctional, toxic family, but I still love them because they're my what? They're my family. And God knows what he does when he puts families together. It's just that as you grow up and as you grow up together and as you are evolving in your family, he's hoping that one day you will still love thy neighbor. He's not talking about your next door neighbor. Your neighbor is your family. Yeah, you wasn't ready for that. You didn't think you're like, Morgan, the neighbor in the Bible is your family. I promise you, I'm learning this. Yes, your neighbor in the Bible, he's talking about your family. The family that he originally placed you with when he formed you in your mother's womb and brought you into this earth. If you can't make your amends with them, if you can't make have your forgiveness start and begin with them, how can you say, I forgive my neighbor, next door neighbor, I forgive my friend, I forgive my boyfriend, I forgive my girlfriend, I forgive my husband, I forgive my wife, but yet and still you cannot forgive your cousin, you cannot forgive your niece, you cannot forgive your daughter, you cannot forgive your son, you cannot forgive your grandson, you cannot forgive nobody else in the family that has harmed you in some form of way, that has hurt you in some form of way, that has belittled you in some kind of way. And then yet and still say, I love and forgive everybody else. Forgiveness begins at home with your family. I'm trying to tell you, I'm sharing these things, y'all, with y'all on purpose, because this was a part, and this is a part of my healing and my deliverance journey. I'm trying to give you some hope. Because for me, no one gave me hope. God will always place me among a lot of people who were more so my mother figure. I didn't really have a lot of father figures, I guess, because I really just wanted my father. So, and because I had been abused by men, I had been mistreated by men. I had been unloved and unwanted by men as I was growing up until I got a little older and wiser. I wasn't always looking for a father figure. I was more so looking for a mother figure. And because I guess God knew that I was looking for a mother figure, he would place those type of people in my life to guide me through my life, because unfortunately my mother was mentally not able to do that. Try living with me. They did, and they still love me. It's something about a forgiving person who has a forgiving, it's something about a person who has a forgiving heart, who puts it in their mind, no matter what they did, no matter what they said, no matter how they treated me, no matter, even if they were the person that actually caused the lie, who started the rumor, to create the distance, to create the divide, to create the negativity and the toxicity, you still have to love them. Now, you don't have to love them close up. You can love them from a distance. But he'd rather for us to love them still close up. But he also wants you to be wise. He don't want you to be that foolish person no more, because he don't want us to be ignorant anymore. He don't want us to say, well, okay, I seen 55 million red flags on the play, and I picked up each one of those flags and put them in my pocket and said, but I'ma still love them. That was your girl Morgan for so long. I thank God for changing me, and I thank you, God, for showing me how to change myself. Because again, change begins with your mind and your heart. Try living with me. They did, and they still love me. Y'all don't understand dealing with a person who has mental health issues. You don't understand how that roller coaster ride seems to never end. Just when you have a highlight moment of a happiness, just when you have a highlight moment of you tell them you love them, and they actually respond back, and you receive it, and you hear it in your heart, in your mind. Because for me, I am a lovey-dovey person, and I tell people this all the time. I'll tell you I love you 55 million times a day. And I was told by these people, you always say you love people, because I actually do. Because my thing is, we don't know what's going to happen in this earth right now. We don't know what's going to happen in this world right now, because as you see again, these planes are dropping out of nowhere. These planes are crashing. There's so much devastation. These people are getting caught in fires. These people are getting caught in earthquakes that are happening out of nowhere. They're getting caught in tsunamis that are happening out of nowhere. So many people are losing their lives right now in 2025. We're only in April 2025. We haven't even made it halfway through the year. Think about this. January, February, March, April. We only four more months into the year of 2025. And there's so much devastation. So for me, when I tell you I love you, I don't know if I may not speak to you the next day. I may not know if I may speak to you the next hour. I may not know if I may speak to you the next minute, the next second of that day. I don't know what kind of communication that may happen the next time we speak again, if we speak again. And if we do, I want the last words you hear from me tell you, I love you. Because genuinely, I do. Now it's up to you whether you decide you want to receive that. Try living with me. They did, and they still love me. That is a roller coaster ride of a person who has mental health issues. And that has been me my entire life. And no one ever cared about how I felt. Even in my family, when she would have a moment or she would have an episode, they will always call her daughter. She know what to do. Call her daughter. She know what to do. And I kept saying, why is everybody calling me? She your sister. She your aunt. She your cousin. She your mom too. Why is everybody calling me? Because it seemed like I was the only one. I am the only one that knows how to still love her. That knew how to still love him in spite of his mind and his heart not being right. In spite of his mind not knowing if they are loved, not knowing if they're still wanted. And you're constantly having to reaffirm and constantly having to confirm and constantly having to tell them, hey, you can trust me. You can love me. Matter of fact, you can love yourself. It's safe to love yourself. And it's safe for me to love you and for you to receive my love. But if you have not had and received that love pretty much all your life, your mind keeps telling you and your heart keeps telling you is, they don't love me. They don't love me. They don't even care about me. But I do. because of the love of Jesus Christ that's in me. The love that's in my heart. Believe it or not, I actually do. Try loving me. And I'll show you what the love really means. Like the love of Christ, the love of God. Even during the things that's happening on the earth, and he's been warning us and telling us and giving us messages and sharing through different forms of facets of telling us what's about to happen on the earth. That's how much he still loves us. That's how much he wants us to love each other. But a lot of us don't, because we got so much hurt in us. We have so much broken in us. But the number one thing we have not done is truly actually forgive the person who hurt you. Forgive the person who mistreated you. Forgive the person who fumbled you. Forgive the person who did not know how to love you, because it seems like they didn't know how to love themselves as well. Again, these are generational curses that I passed on. And I told y'all, I came from 2 generations of family on my mother and my father's side. This was the behavior that I was constantly surrounded around. This is the behavior that I was constantly seeing. The only time I would see love amongst my family members is when we lost a family member, when someone passed away, when we were going to a funeral, and then you would get all this love. I still love you. I still love you. I don't care what nobody else says. I don't care what you think, what you feel. And I would always wonder, why would you wait for somebody to pass away and we supposed to be mourning this person that we lost in our family to come to little old me and say that you still love me? Why you couldn't do that the other 364 days before God took them off this earth? Because for me, it's not genuine. For me, that was the last time I saw the family, is when we buried my cousin, who would have been, if she would have still been alive, as I told y'all, she'd have been 53. My other cousin 52 and I'm 51. And Lord allow, I'll be 52, my other cousin will be 53, and she'll be 54. We are the oldest cousins on my mother's mom's side of the family. We are the oldest nieces on my mom's side of the family. We are the oldest grandchildren. And remember, I just told you we only in our 50s. We're not early 50s at that. So imagine me receiving this, and that was the last time I heard from them. And they was like, no, we really still do love you. And I'm like, you can't, because you chose this funeral that we're here and we're burying the loss of our cousin, the one that was, before she died, no one understood how much she had her own hurt and pain from the family. Because I remember she called me, our last conversation we had before she had took ill and God took her on home. And she said, well, I know they used to treat you like that. You know, we was used to them treating you wrong. We was used to them talking about you. We was used to them doing this. But why me? And I was like, well, dang, cuz, well, you know, they have always been that way. It just took for you to lose your mom. It took for you to lose your dad, because she was the only child, to realize how much they really did not like you, how much they did not really like us. They did not love us, because we were, as they want to say, we were the 3 that was not a part of the family who had the family of, because remember I told you my mom's mom had 11 children. So out of the 11 children, the 11, 10, 9 was my mom, her sister, and her other sister. They were the 3 oldest, but she ended up marrying my other aunts and uncles' dad, and so that was the rest of the family. So it was like, y'all really didn't belong because y'all came from that other side of the family. And I had an aunt who actually told me that. She said, I couldn't understand why our mom used to always have to go to your grandfather's side of the family. We didn't like them. And I'm like, well, I don't understand why you didn't like them, because obviously she liked them, because she had kids with this man. You know, they had a relationship. She had 3, so she obviously had to like him enough, or like his family enough, to still want to bring his children around for him to see the family, for him to see his kids, and the kids to see, you know. And then sadly, my mom didn't really get that experience on a full note, because for whatever reason, she was given away when she was young. Again, y'all don't know your parents, your grandparents, your aunts, your uncles, their pain, their hurt, their suffering. Try living with me. They did, and they still love me. It took me for now in this season, now in this chapter, for God to bring us together, for me to get some of those questions answered. It's time for you to sit down and have that uncomfortable conversation with the people who hurt you. I'm just saying this, y'all. It's up to y'all whether y'all want to do this, but it's time. It's time. It's time to start saying, I forgive you, and really mean it. And you really walk in it. Like I promise you, your girl Morgan been doing this for a long time, and I've been walking in it. I'm actually pretty good with it. Because when I go to bed, I sleep very well at night. I have peace. It feels good to have peace and really mean you have peace, because I've forgiven those ones who have hurt me. I forgave those people. I still can love those people. I just have to love those people from a distance. If we never see each other ever again, just know from my lips to your ears, I still love you. I forgave you. It's you that have to forgive yourself. It's you that have to forgive yourself for the things, the ways, and how you treated me, and really mean it and hold on to it. But if your mind and your heart has not went through that pruning process, or has not went through that healing process, has not went through that deliverance process, unfortunately, you can't. And I come from a family where some families say, yeah, we got mental health issues on this side of the family, but now we don't have it on this side of the family. No, you do. You just don't want to admit it. You don't want to acknowledge it, because your thing is, if they know, then they're gonna say, oh, wait a minute, they were just like them, and they used to talk about them all the time. Unfortunately, those are the facts. Try living with me. They did, and they still love me. People who have mental health issues, that's all they want. They want you to still love them in their flaws. They want you to still love them in their failures. They want you to still embrace them. And they're not perfect, because guess what? They don't know how to love themselves. They don't know how to embrace themselves. And this is the thing. Jesus loved us all, and we are so flawed. We are so imperfect. We failed him time and time again. Do you know how many times God looks at us? Every time we do something, he be like, oh, Lord, they done did it again. Gee, son, go down there. Go ahead, angels. Go ahead. You know how many times we get grace and mercy? And most of the time, we don't deserve his grace and mercy. You know how many times he give us favor? And majority of the time, we don't deserve his favor. Can you imagine? Can you even fathom how many times? So if he does it for us, why you cannot do it for the one that you say you love? Your aunt, your cousin, your mom, your dad, your grandparents, your husband, your wife, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, whoever you call as somebody that's close to your heart. And if they've done something to you, even down to the friends who have hurt me over years. And for me, I didn't have a lot of friends. Sad to say, I did not have a lot of friends growing up. But the ones that I did, and I held on to them to the dear end until the chapter came to a close. I had that one friend. We were friends for over 32 years. And now we're no longer friends anymore. And again, thank you for the memories. Thank you for the times that we did have good memories. The times that I saw you as genuinely as my friend. Now, whether you saw me genuinely as your friend, now we see maybe you did, maybe you didn't. Only God knows. That's why we're no longer in connection. Because again, people come in your life for a reason, a season, and a lifetime. And for me, when I connect to people, whether it's my mom, whether it's my dad, whether it's my sisters, whether it's my brothers, whether it's my children, whoever it is, I believe that you're supposed to be in my life for a lifetime. But then sometimes God changes the channel. And he says, no, everyone can't go where I'm taking you. And sometimes he does that on purpose, for his plan. So if you have a person in your family who has mental health issues, who was diagnosed with bipolar, schizophrenia, depression, anxiety, multiple personalities, any type of form, because sad to say, those are demonic spirits that are running around. They're fighting different guys. They don't know how to hear the voice of God, because they're hearing the voice of a lot of negative. They're hearing voices of a lot of doubt, a lot of confusion. And remember, God is not the God of confusion. God is not a God of negative. God is a God of truth. God is a God of light. God is a God of life. You know, again, the power, your words in your mouth is power. And the power of the tongue, the power of the words in your mouth speaks life and death. For me, I'm going to always speak life. And it seems like I've always spoken life, even when I was going through a lot of things that could have, because Satan was always on my trail for a long, long time to get rid of little old Morgan, to be like, nah, she don't need to be here. We need to remove her from this earth because I don't like her, because I know who she is, and she didn't even know who she is, and I just want her removed before it's time. But God said, nope, thou shalt live and not die. And you need to tell that, speak that over your life all the time. You're going to live and not die. You're going to prosper. Jeremiah 29:11, for I have plans to prosper you, thus said the Lord, not to harm you. Plans to give you hope for the future that I created for you, that I destined, that I designed, and I divined for you. And now we're in the season that it's time for all of us to start going according to his purpose, his plan, because the world is about to change. Try living with me. They did, and they still love me. Put a little love in your heart. You guys have a great weekend. Please be safe. Please check me out on my YouTube channel, Morgan Rees, Rees, life speaker. Check out my podcast channel, Good Morning Black People with Morgan Rees, but it's actually Good Morning Black People. And you'll see all the interviews that I've done with so many amazing guests. If you want to be a guest on my show, please send me a DM. We can work it out. Send me an email, and we'll see if we can get you on the show so you can tell your story. Be blessed.